Hello, everybody. My name's Anthony of Heal, Lead, and Teach. And I basically wanted to talk to you today about a few things that have been happening and what I'm actually doing. Um, so, Heal, Lead, and Teach is something that has been circulating in my brain for a long time. And it's actually been going on for years. But what has happened is I have been busy doing other things and not attending to my own ideas. And now I have time, so I'm going to. So, Heal, Lead, and Teach is basically a culmination of all the things that I've been learning over my lifetime. And I wanted to share some of those stories with you. But before even that, um, it's just like what we're going through right now. I know the universe right now, we're in a retrograde, which started I think around the 15th of May or 15th of April, and it's still going on until maybe the second week in May. I don't know. But so, and as a result, when the planet Mercury is out of alignment with all the other planets, it seems like it's going backward, and everything else seems to be pulling on that, creating a backward motion. So, energetically, it's a bad time for people. It's also a big time for miscommunication when issues come up as far as um, mechanical things. People might get sick more at this time of the year, and there's about 3 times a year that this happens. But anyway, we were going through a car wash. Talk about retrograde and stupid stuff happening. We're going through the car wash after we got done eating, and all of a sudden the car starts jerking and acting weird. And we're getting off to, like to the end of the car wash, and we're supposed to be putting it back into drive because it's in neutral, and the thing don't want to shift. So we're kind of like, Pete's playing with the transmission and trying to wobble it, and it's not going right. So it's jerking and making all kinds of weird things happening. So we finally got the car out of the car wash, thank God, because other cars were coming. So you're like, what the hell? What's going to happen now? The cars are coming. We're going to get stuck in the car wash. And it could have been more of a disaster than it wasn't, thank God. I don't know if there's a safety on those things. But anyway, here we go. And so finally we got the car pulled over to the side after a couple tries. And turns out the transmission is blown. It is blown. I mean, it's like, and the idea of them, this is a Ford Escape, and the idea that they can't fix it, and if they can fix it, it will take 2 or 3 months to get the part. Number one, the transmission, they can't even get it. And number two, it was going to cost like $12,000 to fix it, even if they could get the part to get the new trend or overhaul. And we're like, no, I don't think so. So we have started taking Uber. So now the Uber is my best friend, and on my phone, and will take us anywhere we need to go. So we had our little saying goodbye today to the car. Namaste. Thank you very much. And what I realize is that this is just another change. The universe saying, okay, change. It's time. It's time for you to change. It's time for the car to change. And in retrospect, looking at the whole thing, I have to say that the car's only 8 years old, 71,000 miles, and we thought it had at least 4 or 5 years left to go, but obviously not. And so I guess it had to do with all of my doctor appointments that I've had to go to due to cancer the past 5 years. Hundreds of appointments. I can't even tell you how many appointments we went to. So between the doctor appointments, going to LA, San Diego, just Las Vegas appointments, and everything else, I guess we burned up the car. So the car served us as well as it could, and I am very grateful for what it did give us, and that it kept us safe just about almost everywhere we went. And so Heal, Lead, and Teach is a method, like I said, It's something that I've used my whole life. And most of the time, it brings everything back, everything that I have learned in my life. I go back to this, like my healing. What have I learned from it? And what am I doing with it? So this is a time for me to work with it and to teach what I've learned, lead people in their own healing. And so the word heal, what does that mean? It means many things to many people. One of the things it means, the Webster Dictionary definition, is to make sound or whole, to heal a wound, to make well again, or to restore, to bring something back to health, to make an undesirable condition to be overcome, to make an undesirable condition to be able to overcome that. So that's what healing means in a nutshell. And also, I've done healing work many years with massage, Native American healing work, Akashic records, and readings. And what I can tell you is that I have used these things for the past probably 30 years in my life, and they've always led me in the right direction. Which brings me to my next word, lead. So what does lead mean? Lead means to move ahead, to advance yourself, to guide by going in advance, to direct a course or direction, a traveler, traveling to the heart of the city. Someone has to lead. Sometimes people have to lead you to certain areas in order to find your way. To serve as a channel, like the pipe that leads to the house. To go ahead, to move ahead further in a lane when you're driving, or with a racehorse, you're leading in the race. And sometimes it even means in dancing where someone takes the lead. Someone has to be the leader and someone has to be the follower. You both can't do the same thing at the same time. So superiority is also meaning a position that's in advance, or being able to lead on a project, for instance, like a project manager who leads the way with the project, whatever the project is. How do we lead ourselves forward? When you find out you have cancer, the doctors come into the room and drop the bomb and walks out the door. He says, yes, it has happened. You have cancer. And most likely the doctor's very busy, and maybe he got called back away because he's got 10 patients. So he can't really spend a lot of time with you in the room. And I understand that because I did work in healthcare with a doctor, several different doctors, and they all don't have as much time as everybody thinks they do. So I can appreciate that. But there does need to be some more compassion when you're telling somebody something that's a life-changing event. And to teach, what does it mean to teach? I know what it is to learn. What it is to teach is to bring students to think for themselves, to cause them to be able to have their own know-how about something, to be able to impart knowledge to people. One of the examples was algebra. Don't ask me about algebra or fractions. I hated them. I did enough to enable to go through it, but I got through it. So also, teach means to make known, to become accepted with. So educate, to assist with the development of somebody's mind. More than going to a formal school teaches us.